There's been quite a lot of talk about my own position, as well as all of the speakers here today. Not only our position as Catholics, but as Christians in our delivery of the truth. What's quite interesting, though, is that the Bible has taught us repeatedly that we are called to be set apart. And division is the act of separating something. So per his word, God has called you to be divided from this world. So many right now are concerned about not causing division that they've invited wolves to sit at their tables. And then they wonder why they have no fruit, no spiritual growth, and why their prayers are being hindered. If you are fearful to cause division, you are actually just separating yourself from God. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." John 15:19 says, "If you were of the world would love you as its own. But because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you." And I think it's suffice to say almost every single one of us who have graced this stage have been somewhat labeled as polarizing figures. We're not the people that we're somewhat liked. It's one or the other, loved or hated, because we've chosen that side. So you cannot be a Christian and be of this world at the same time. You cannot remain undivided. Do you know what the Bible calls people who try not to offend anyone? Those who don't choose a side? And Abby said this earlier, lukewarm. And do you know what happens to the lukewarm Christians according to the Bible? Revelations 3:16 tells us, "So because you are lukewarm, neither hot nor cold, I am about to spit you out of my mouth." God will no longer tolerate those sitting on the fence playing peacemaker. You must decide if you are hot or cold, because you see, division is required. Matthew 10:34 tells us, "Do not think I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword." So you must choose to be a true Christian, a true Catholic, and get on the right hand of God, or stop calling yourself that. And it's not a popular time to share these things, but they have to be shared. We must stop worrying about who is going to be offended when we speak the truth, but do start worrying about who is going to be deceived, misled, and destroyed if we don't. Which leads me to our next speaker, who is one of God's greatest soldiers. He has taken the wrongdoings against him to fight even harder for Christ. This beloved priest and former pastor of St. James the Less in La Crosse, Wisconsin, was canceled by his bishop for speaking the truth of the gospel. Known as one of the most holy priests of our times for how boldly and courageously he speaks on his passion for Christ and against the corruption of the church, he is clearly disrupting the culture with truth. As I'm humbled to simply be in his presence, I have the distinct honor to present to you Father James Altman.